Hello, 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 everybody. Happy New Year, 2024. We woke up to see another day. Let's be blessed. Too blessed to be stressed. I just came on here to talk about God as usual. No, but this is S.W.P, Sisters with Power. And I just wanted to come on here and talk about not what everybody else is talking about, but we all know what everybody's talking about. It is Cat Williams. Okay. But even more importantly, I just wanted us to talk about having intimacy with God. This year in 2024, a lot of us done lost people, right? And yeah, that's the bachelorette up there sipping tea with S.W.P. How you doing out there? We done lost a lot of loved ones. And today I want to get into just being able not to have faith on man, right? Not to have faith in man, but to have the trust in the Lord. Because God's going to be revealing a lot of things this year. And it's happening for a reason. Because a lot of us go off our five senses, what we can feel, hear, see, touch, and smell. That's what we go off. And if it looks good, it's part of a club, or it smells good, or it's making money, or it's the in thing to do or to follow, we do it. And a lot of us are too grown to still be in that season. Yeah, when we were younger, we were followers. We were all followers. We follow someone to guide us, right? Probably had a friend we followed, had an older person, our uncle, auntie, whoever was our mentor, right? But in these days, especially if you're 50 and better, you need to be seeking Jesus and following his ways because you don't know if you're going to wake up tomorrow. You don't know if you're going to wake up tomorrow. And we too old to be playing around. So today is going to be short and sweet. All right. I know this is very small up here and you probably can't see it or read it. But what I'm going to do is, of course, I want to start this before showing my beautiful face, because this is about God and not about me, is to go to Matthew 25. And I really wanted to talk about today, the night before Jesus got arrested, because I want us to go off our discernment and why God is telling us to stay woke, especially in these days. It's not mainly about being woke so you can have prosperity or have a great life or stuff like that. No, the enemy's out here trying to still steal, kill, and destroy. And if your discernment is not on fleek, which comes through humility and allowing the Holy Spirit to come in you, it's a lot of stuff that can bypass you. And God won't even give you that discernment to know what's going on because you ain't seeking him, you know? So in these days, we're not seeking God for prosperity. We're not seeking God to have a better life on earth. We're seeking him for wisdom. We're seeking him so we can be aligned with him because that intimacy, when you trust in God, that's how he makes you more aware of what's going on. So I wanted to start with Matthew 25 to talk about when people didn't follow what was going on, right? Hold on here. I know I don't have my face on there. I'm getting ready to put my face up there, guys. I know the attention span be short. Hold on a second. But when you're talking about God, you don't want to focus on you. And there's a lot of leaders out here who want to focus on them. And that's the problem these days. And then when the leaders fail us, pastors or even musicians, people who we've been listening to their songs for years, and now you find out this specific thing, and now you're like, oh, I put my trust in that person. God is trying to reveal in us in these days. Everyone's going to fall short. There was only one man that wasn't tempted, and that was Jesus, right? So anyone else besides him, if the enemy comes in your mind, there is a way he can get through and attempt you to do something you don't want to do, especially if you're not strong in the Lord, standing in your truth and using your powers when he does come in your mind, right? Some of us don't know how to activate it or haven't activated it yet or trying to activate it. And we're going to just talk about that today. And yes, this is good morning. I know I came on at 4 o'clock for another specific reason, because Jesus, that hour before he got arrested, he was up late that night in the late hour. They arrested him before the morning, because he was actually on the cross at 3 p.m. So he was up at the night, and he was telling Peter, John, and James to stay up and be woke, while he was over in the Garden of Gethsemane praying, crying out to the Lord. And he just wanted them to stay woke. All right. So that's the topic what we're going to talk about today. Being woke, how to have an intimacy with God. Okay. And once again, good morning. It's 2024. This is S.W.P, Sisters with Power. All right. And I want y'all to have a happy new year. I know, New Year's was last Monday, but this is the year to reveal. The year of the reveal. To be woke, not slumber, not lazy, or even worse, sleep. This is not the year to be like that. It's a lot of things. We got a new president coming in. We got a lot of things going on. So today we're going to be talking about Closet Chronicles. Okay. I'm not actually in my closet today. I'm in my living room, but usually I'm in my closet. All right. And Jesus was in the Garden of Gethsemane, which was his closet that night when he was crying out to God. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. And hold on, I have something else for you guys. I just want to put up a visual here real quick while I read Matthew 26, and then I will put my beautiful face up so y'all can see that I am here. And thank you for your patience, because I'm over here, like most YouTubers and people, I'm doing my own stuff in the background, try to hire people and do stuff for it, but it doesn't line up with the word. So God said, do it yourself. I didn't call you and other people to do this. I called you to do it. Okay. So now let's hope that I get this correct on how I wanted to start it. And like I said, God knows our hearts. So even if they don't come out perfect. Okay, so that is the end. So I guess this one is the beginning. Just want you to have a picture of what I'm about to talk about. Okay. Keep people's attention span with me. Okay, and as you can see there, that's Peter, James, and John. And Jesus is asking them, to stay woke, stay prayed up. Okay. So while y'all are looking at that, I'm going to get to that part there. But I wanted to read Matthew 25 before I get there. And I'm going to skim through it, but I'm going to read the important parts. And the first part was the parable of the 10 virgins. This is Matthew 25:1. And this is an important parable. And Jesus used to speak in parables. I love to speak about Jesus' parables. At the time, the kingdom of heaven will be like 10 virgins who took their lamps and went out to meet the bridegroom. We all know who the bridegroom is. 5 of them were foolish and 5 were wise. Just like in our days and times, we got the foolish and we got the wise. The foolish ones took their lamps, but did not take any oil with them. The wise ones, however, took oil in jars along with their lamps. The bridegroom was a long time in coming, and they all became drowsy and fell asleep. The bridegroom, we don't know the day or the time that he's going to come, okay? But in this parable, it says they all fell asleep, waiting on him. At midnight, the cry rang out, "Here's the bridegroom, come out to meet him." Then all the virgins woke up and trimmed their lamps. The foolish one said to the wise, give us some of your oil. Our lamps are going out." "No," they replied. "There may not be enough for both of us and you. Instead, go to those who sell oil and buy some for yourselves." But while they were on their way to buy the oil, the bridegroom had arrived. The virgins who were ready went in with him to the wedding banquet, and the door was shut. My, what could that mean? We all have come on the same journey, right? For example, we all go camping. We all bring our tents. We all bring our air beds. But some people bring an airbag that may need electricity to blow up. There's no electricity around. Some person may bring an airbag that didn't need electricity, it needed a pump, and they have the pump. The other person don't have the pump. Okay? Just like with the bridegroom, they had some lamps, but they didn't have enough oil. Coming prepared to God is what you done did along with your journey. How have you prepared yourself for when he arrives? Are you prepared that you don't have to go back and fish for something and the door closes on you? So I want you to sit with that. Later, the others also came. Lord, Lord, they said, open the door for us. But he replied, truly I tell you, I don't know you. Therefore, keep watch, because you do not know the day or the hour. And you could be coming back knocking on the door thinking that you did everything through works, right? Or whatever you thought you did a good job. You brought your sleeping bag. You just, you ain't know, hey, wasn't no electricity going to be out here. You brought your stuff. You did what you had to do. But the other person was more wiser, okay? And we'll take that even back to Solomon when he asked for wisdom. Are the things that we seek are materialistic? Are the things that we're doing, we're not thinking, we're not seeking God to get the answers? Because there's going to be a time when God comes for you. No one knows the day or the hour for us. It could be through any ways, many ways. We got to be thankful every time we wake up. And are we prepared to go with him? Okay? So therefore, keep watch, because you do not know the day or the hour. You may not have time to run back and fix it. You may not have that time. The door may close. So let's get it right now. Take every day as your last day. Not to be perfect, but to seek Jesus. All right. So now moving along. Hold on a second. We'll get to the next quick parable before I get to Peter and James and John that's supposed to be on watch. Because these parables are to do with us. Even though we know about Peter, James, and John, we need to know that these parables are to do with our everyday and time right now. Okay? And let me take that off real quick before I get to that story. Hello, beautiful ones. And yeah, I got my New York hat on, New York state of mind. A lot of things in Gotham, the Big Apple, the big cities, 8 million people there. Okay? 9/11, we didn't know what was going to happen. Everybody was scared, panicking. It could be they just had an earthquake there, a little earthquake. They just had floods there. Things that's happening in New York that you never thought was going to happen in Gotham. If one tragic thing happens, how do you think everybody going to escape on the highway? It's going to be a standstill. But who going to know what to do is the people who connected to God, because he's going to speak to them and tell them the plan, okay? It ain't going to be the CNN news telling you where to go. They're going to have their bunkers ready. They're going to have their plan ready. The lottery numbers who already is attached to that, and it ain't going to be the poor people, okay? So you got to have your plan ready. You got to have your supplies ready, your water ready, anything that lines up with your safety, and especially being intimate with God, so he can give you the discernment and lead you the right way. So you won't be so complacent and dependent on man, because you can't trust no one these days. Not the government, not pastors. You have to have that intimacy with God. Okay. Year 2024. How old are you and you don't have an intimacy with God that you're able to rely on him? And no matter what you see when people claim they are for God, you're never going to give up trusting in him, because you know those are people and they're going to fail you. Okay. So this last quick parable, again, it will be like a man going on a journey who called his servants and entrusted his wealth to them. To one he gave 5 bags of gold. Okay. So it was 3 men. To one he gave 5 bags of gold. To another, 2 bags of gold. And to another, 1 bag. Each according to his ability. See, it wasn't that the first man was better, or the second man was least than, or the first man didn't deserve it. He gave them according to his ability. So when God blesses you, it's according to your ability. So don't be jealous of another man's treasure. It's what you're doing with yours, how God is going to bless you abundantly. Then he went on his journey. The man who had received the 5 bags of gold went at once and put his money to work and gained 5 bags more. So he had 10 bags. So also the one with the 2 bags of gold gained 2 more. But the man who had received 1 bag went off, dug a hole in the ground, and hid his master money. Now, how much of us are hiding money like hoarders? Not being servants, not giving back, not planting seeds in your community or whatever you need to do to bring tenfold. You just hiding that money, that little bit of money God gave you, like the little mouse with the cheese in the maze. It's mine, 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 mine. Right? That's what we're doing. That's what we're doing these days. And then when the natural disaster comes and that money ain't worth nothing, you can't get to the bank or anything, and you're just like a commoner, what are you going to do then? You're going to trust in the Lord. But is the Lord going to know you because what you was doing with that money when you had the money? Okay. So let's read the ending of this. But the man who had received the 1 bag went off, dug a hole in the ground, and hid his master's money. After a long time, the master of those servants returned and settled accounts with them. The man who had received the 5 bags of gold brought the other 5. Master, he said, you entrusted me with the 5 bags of gold. See, I have gained 5 more. His master replied, well done, good and faithful servant. You have been faithful with few things. I will put you in charge of many things. Come and share your master's happiness. So his master was abundantly proud of him that he went and did a good thing with the money. He didn't keep it all for himself. The master with the 2 bags of gold also came. Master, he said, you entrusted me with 2 bags of gold. See, I have gained 2 more. His master replied, well done, good and faithful servant. You have been faithful with a few things. Few things. So the things that we have, that we're complaining about, are we faithful with them? What are we doing with them? You understand? I will put you in charge of many things. Come and share your master's happiness. The man who had received the 1 bag of gold, Master, he said, I knew that you had a hard man. I knew that you are a hard man, harvesting where you have not sown and gathering where you have not scattered seed. So I was afraid, and I went out and hid your gold in the ground. See, here's what belongs to you. So the last one was so scared because he said that the master was hard and that harvesting where you have not sown and gathering where you have not scattered seed. Excuse me. So I was afraid and went out and hid your gold in the ground. See, here it is. What belongs to you? His master replied, you wicked, lazy servant. You wicked, lazy servant. And what did I have posted up here before? Let me scroll down to that. You wicked, lazy servant. So you knew that I harvest where I have not sown and gather where I have not scattered seed. Well, then, you should have put my money on deposit with the bankers, so when I returned, I would have received it back with interest. So take the bag of gold from him and give it to the one who has 10 bags. For whoever has will be given more, and they will have abundance. Whoever does not have, even what they have will be taken from them. And throw that worthless servant aside. So the man that he was talking about, the worthless servant, was the man with the 1 bag of gold. He says, and throw that worthless servant to the outside, into the darkness, where there will be weeping and gnashing of the teeth. So when we think, and this is just a parable, and I'm not speaking for Jesus, I'm just letting us know, sometimes when we have like our job, our money, our bank account is our. And I'm saying you got to go give 10% to a church, right? 10%, God was saying feed the prisoners, feed the sick, go donate, even if you ain't got 10% and you in hard times, or whatever you have in your house, share with others, because there's somebody with less than you have. So maybe some old clothes you have in there, maybe some sandwiches you could go make, or make a pot of soup and just go give it out, because you don't want to be that one scared to lose it all. So you're saving it, dug in the ground, right? Because you want God to bless you, knowing that you have your trust in him. You have your faith in him. So I just wanted to read that parable because sometimes we are like that, where everything is mine, 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 mine. And not it's saying exactly what this parable is saying. It could mean many different things on how he's explaining this, okay? It don't have to be, it pertains on how it pertains to your life, okay? Everybody has a different testimony, has a different being in them. So how these parables go is goes on what's going on in your life. That's what you take from these stories. You don't take exactly how what happened with the men, how they put their money in the ground. Yeah, your money's not buried in the ground nowhere. But it's something that's an idol to you, right? That you probably wouldn't give up or share with nobody because it's mine, mine, mine. So just think about that. And the last one I wanted to read was the sheep and the goats, which is Matthew 25:31. And I know I took a little long time on this. When the Son of Man comes in his glory and all the angels with him, he will sit on his glorious throne. All the nations will be gathered before him, and he will separate people from one another as a shepherd separates the sheep from the goats. So everybody putting up these goat signs. Everybody's the goat, the greatest of all time. You know, they made it that for Jordan to stand for the greatest of all time. But I'm telling you, that goat word is a symbolic entity. Stop thinking you a goat. You want to be a sheep. You want to be humble. You want to be meek. You want to be bad. You don't want to be no goat, hard-headed, running around, don't listen. That's what goats did. Sheep gathered together, stayed together in a flock. Stop calling yourself a goat. Be a sheepfold. Your words speak life to your soul. So if you're part of the goat fold, because you're the greatest of all time, it says right here, he will put the sheep on his right and the goats on his left. So you're more worried about the goats of this world? You're more worried about being in the in crowd, the greatest of all time club? Or you worried about being in eternity with Jesus, in sheepfold? So stop saying that you're a goat, putting up those signs and those hand signals. I ain't even going to do them. Okay, and always saying, oh, that just means, Gia, that means greatest of all time. Yeah, that's a the masses. It's something to fool y'all. Let's make it transparent to them. That just means that you're great at what you do. Okay, Jesus was the only one that was really great at what he did, and he was the only one that was able not to be tempted. He's the greatest of all time. If anybody should be called a goat, it should be him, and he ain't called himself the goat. Okay. He called himself a shepherd. He's the greatest. He's the gangster. He's the only one that the devil couldn't manipulate. All these people that y'all following, the devil's easy to manipulate them with money, greed, fame, status, being part of a club. And then you want to be part of these in crowds with these pastors. And then a lot of the pastors, you know, that what kills me about it is, because I was saying this in my first videos, and even talking to my pastors, like, be woke. Y'all follow these pastors and these celebrities, right? And then you talk about their songs, you critique the songs, but you still are not critiquing the person, the tree. It has leaves on it, but do you see the spirit or the root? So you're telling me through their videos and all this stuff and things that they were doing, you never seen nothing negative in them that was like, hey, a red flag. It had to be 10 people that came out to confirm this. None of y'all seen in these videos, in their politics, people they connected to, trafficking, sex trafficking, friends that they're connected to. It has to take 10 people to wake y'all up to say, oh yeah, it is true. 10 people agreed. So when Jesus was in the night before in his last supper, and he said, one person in here will betray me. You think there was 10 people in there telling them, yo, Jesus, I heard the word, somebody was going to betray you. No, it was his discernment. It was his power from God that told him that person was going to do that night. And it was Judas. And everybody in there said, it ain't going to be me, Jesus. Don't say it's me. It's not me. Peter even said, he told Peter, he said, Peter, you're going to deny me 3 times. Peter said, I would die before I deny you. But see, Jesus knew in his discernment that Peter was going to do that already. Peter didn't know because Peter didn't have his power to know that Jesus already knew. He was still learning Jesus. But we know these stories, right? So if Jesus left the Holy Spirit and he left that power for us, we have that same discernment. We don't have to be around 10 people to figure it out, guys. Like, this stuff is right in front of you. He said that it's going to be the master manipulator doing stuff in front of you. They're going to look, smell good, talk good, know the word. It's going to line up. You know what I'm saying? But they ain't going to be the word. Okay? So you got to know in these days why you want to have intimacy with God. Because if you still sitting back and letting idols like people in front of you fool you, until 10 people are able to come tell you that that person is that person, you're not reading your word. You're not reading your word, because a lot of the stuff that they're doing in them videos and before people came out was enough evidence. It was enough evidence. It was enough evidence. I'm not going to go back and forth with names or what I'm talking, because y'all know. And even when people was calling Cat Williams crazy, he high, he getting high. Yeah, they blackballed him. He don't know. He just mad because he got high and didn't show up to the shows. But now he ain't high. Now he on the Shay Shay show. Now 10 people done came out, everybody on Cat Williams. Cat Williams been saying that for years in all his comedy shows. Y'all ain't want to pay attention to him, right? Because y'all was better than. He was getting high, right? But y'all wasn't observing what he was observing either. Forget what Cat Williams said, believe in him. But was y'all being observant? He was giving y'all evidence. Y'all was still asleep because y'all saying, oh, he looked like a crackhead and these people got money. They richer than him. He just mad. But I'm going to tell you something. Even when Jesus was out there telling the truth and praying for prisoners and healing people on the Sabbath, it was those same people with the money, the high Pharisees, looking down on Jesus when Jesus was speaking the truth. Who are you? Who are you to come from here telling us how to change the law? Who are you? And he's the Son of Man. Okay? So stop looking out the outer. Look at the inner. Let it line up with the word. Know your word. Knowing when people are doing stuff on TV, they got certain people putting hands on them and they're not even a pastor. How is somebody praying on you and they're not even a pastor? They doing mockery on TV. And a lot of pastors let this slide. They don't, because they don't want to be not in the club. And then they feel stupid because they were following those pastors and their discernment wasn't on. A lot of pastors say, oh, my discernment this, my discernment this. God told me this about you. Oh, I shouldn't be with y'all. I shouldn't do this. But you ain't have discernment about these mega churches. You ain't have discernment about these celebrities that you was bopping and singing to and agreeing with them. But way before, everybody got on R. Kelly, right? Because the evidence came out about him being a pedophile. So it took 2 or 3 times for him to finally go to jail that everybody flipped on him. But you know what? I still in there for R. Kelly, because it's not about the judgment. Yeah. You know, I'm not here to judge him, but I know his gift that God gave him. You understand? And it's for him to repent with God. That's what it is. It's not my job to be here judging anybody. So that's not why I'm doing this video is. My job is here to say, why is God revealing things to us? Why is he revealing things to us? And I'm going to tell you why. Just like the Israelites in the desert were depending on what they could feel, taste, see, hear, and touch. God has showed them plenty of miracles. He showed them plenty of miracles, right? He got them through the Red Sea. He delivered them from Pharaoh. Not long before Moses go up into the mountains just to get the 10 Commandments, just to give them some rules so they can have some structure. You up there for maybe 60 days, 90 days, 45 days, but y'all been in slavery 400 years. You can't even give a man 60 days. When you done seen all these miracles God done did. So why are we so different from them when they seen it with their own eyes? What makes us different? When we're reading the story, what makes us so different? We're reading the story. So we're still wandering around like them. See, he had to have them wander for 40 years on an 11-day trip because they messed up by building that idol, that calf. They did so much stuff that God didn't even want the ancestors that he freed to be in the new land. He wanted their children's children to be there. They were so tainted. He didn't even want them there. So he had to let them die off. That's why it took so long. Okay? And it wasn't because hello?
Yeah, man.
What's up, boo?
Wait, hold up, baby.
Okay.
It's okay, go there.
Hold on. Hold on, guys. Hold on, boo. Hold on. Okay, no, I was trying to end this mic. Okay. So you said
Say it again.
you said oh I'm sorry, you said you at the gate?
No, I'm up there. Just taking the exit, coming off of the exit.
Oh. See if you see if somebody's coming in, hopefully. If not, you're probably gonna have to come through the back way. Hold on a second. Just get to the gate and see and let me know, okay?
1 second. I'll be there in a second. Ain't no 24-hour gas station on Broad River?
Okay, I'm back. The intermission was a little intermission. And I'm seeing if I can pause this, but I don't know if it's going to let me. Okay. Anyway, so we are not allowing the Holy Spirit to work in us through humility. That's what we're not doing. The more we trust in God, the more God is going to reveal to us. That's how we go. Okay. Yeah. Of course, He wants you to follow His law, His 10 commandments, be as close as you can be, as holy as you can be, of course, right? But if you want to hear God, you have to seek God. You have to have a relationship with Him, not through a third party. No third party. Got to read the word. Okay. I'm probably going to end this video and do part 2. Okay. We are not allowing the Holy Spirit to work in us through humility. If we humble ourselves, lean on Jesus, seek Him with all our whole being, allowing His power to work in us, becoming submissive. God has revealed so many things to us, and it takes a sledge hammer or 10 different people to tell you before you start believing what is right in front of your eyes. These are idols. That's why. These idols is hard for you to believe. Oh my God, they couldn't have did this. This is my idol. I've been looking up to this for years. Like that's the only really person I had like that was Michael Jackson. And even when he did it, I was like, nah, not Mike. And still, I don't know if he did it or not. I never judged Mike. But the whole point is, I didn't say he could have never did it, right? You know what I mean? You can't say never. The only one you can trust in is God, because it will become an idol. You will become dumb and they will become more powerful. You're losing, you're densing your own power by not receiving what he is telling you and staying, letting the enemy tell you, oh, that's just conspiracy. That's just this. It has to line up with the word. Even if I'm confused, do some history on them. Start watching videos. So much YouTube stuff that you can track on people. If it's a person that you feel like, hey, I want to learn a little bit more about them. This is somebody I've been spending a lot of time with in my personal time, watching them, following them. Let me find out if there's things that I need to see, these little red flags, because I'm always just seeing the good side. Stop making a person an idol. Not saying you got to judge them or leave them or curse them or don't ever listen to nothing they play again, but just stop making them an idol. With idols, we become dummies. What looks good, smells good, talk good, living good, popular, has some stats. You don't want to be left out the in crowd, right? So when a pastor becomes something and you're like, oh my God, I've been following this pastor for years. I thought they were perfect. Nobody's perfect. That's the problem. That's the fun part for me. And pastors want to predict themselves like they're perfect. And they're following these pastors. And then when the pastor that they were following falls short, they don't get online and say nothing because they feel stupid. Because God did not, they didn't use the wisdom from the common sense from God to discern that person. They were just following them because of the word. Everybody know the word. Everybody know the word. But what's their actions lining up with the word? So all of us fall short. Even me. I'm not perfect. But I'm not claiming to be perfect either. I'm not getting on here saying that I'm perfect. I'm not getting on here denying anything that I have done. Okay? So that's the difference. God knows what you do, even when you think nobody else knows. Be a lonely sheep. You ain't got to be on the in crowd. You are a watchman. Sisters and brothers on the front line for Jesus' army. We are here to serve, help the poor, the sick, the prisoners, the outcasts. Okay? Your discernment is not for prosperity or for a good life here on earth. When Jesus sent them disciples out, he sent them with no food, a little bit of crackers in their bag to get them to where they was going probably. But after that, he told them, don't worry, you're going to be okay. They ain't have no whole bunch of money. They wasn't rich. The one taxman left all his money to go be a disciple. So stop thinking that the power of God is all about riches. He won't know you when the time comes. When it's time to go in that banquet room. I say, oh, you can worry about his money. Hello?
Let's get